The community has entrusted us, the public agency, with their water, with their money, with their infrastructure. We should be doing everything we can to, one, use it efficiently and effectively as possible, and sustainably. There isn't anybody that I talk to that would be like, yeah, sure, pump the aquifer to the basement, just pump it to the floor, and then we'll come up with something later. There is no later, right? It doesn't exist. In the past, water districts were extracting water, delivering it to customers. Perfect. Those aquifers are struggling, right? The whole point of SGMA, the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, is to drive our industry into a place where we're trying to manage those assets, those resources. And so the district now has to think bigger. It isn't just delivering water and sewer services now to a household, it's now managing these resources and maintaining them so that they're sustainable now and into the future. We serve a population of roughly 41,000 people. We're the largest public water utility in Monterey County. Marina Coast is uniquely situated in the Monterey area, meaning that the Monterey Peninsula, which is run by a private water entity, and the Monterey Ag lands present the district with three essentially business lines, meaning that the agriculture that is to our north is roughly a $5 to $6 billion industry. So we need to make sure that that industry has growth potential and is doing well. In Marina itself, we have tourism, and then we're also supporting the military. So a lot of what we're doing has to have kind of a multi-dimensionality to it. We have to be thinking in ways that a standard water district doesn't.
99% of our water for agriculture and for municipality comes from groundwater. We've really been tasked with, first of all, identifying what areas are in trouble. And we are on the border of one of those areas that is in trouble. We have lowering groundwater levels. We have seawater intrusion in our upper aquifers. We don't want to see that seawater intrusion coming in any further. We don't want to see that seawater intrusion going into our deeper aquifers. Understanding the problems that we have right now in our area is super key, and that's the whole purpose behind all this, right? Is to define these recharge potentials, define our metrics behind precipitation, and build out these data sets to make better informed decisions.
As we pump down, as we pump more and more fresh water out of the aquifer, it allows more and more salt water to enter the aquifer. Once that salt water enters the aquifer, it's corrupted for a long time, if not forever. Understanding that and being able to manage it along that coastline is a very intricate and data-intense process, and it's not something that we have really good resolution on. One of the things I cannot see is I don't see in real time the level of our aquifers, and I can't understand or I can't predict, is the aquifer going up? Is it good and healthy? Is it going down? Am I in trouble? Those kind of decisions, right? Which weather sensor are we watching? Are we watching the one in Salinas? Are we watching the one here at the Marine Airport? What's going on? So the Resources Department came up with this idea of putting a weather station out. Bought 3 of them because I want to build 3 points. I can then attach that grid to our understanding of the aquifers and how they're performing, and then try to create a predictive tool that sees the amount of rainfall that's coming into our basin, and then to watch the top aquifer, the dune sand aquifer, and tell me how it performs.
So right here, I'm looking at the modeled output data and the ground truth data from our ATMOS 41 stations. Historically, we've been managing our precipitation records through a model that we use to predict percentage rainfall throughout the whole subbasin. What we really want to do is tie ground truth weather stations to the same locations, to the same coordinates that the model is outputting, and confirm that the model is in fact correct or is not correct. Interestingly enough, we've already identified only with 3 weather stations about a 17% deviation between the modeled output data and the ground truth data. We're already seeing that our historical process of modeling precipitation data maybe is not the best way to do it.
If I have a 1-inch event that comes in, do I see a response in the aquifer within a day? Do I see a response in the aquifer in a month? That way, Our prediction in terms of sustainability tells us whether or not that aquifer will recover. That's why this program, why this idea has to move forward. As populations increase, as water use intensifies, we're depleting these reservoirs, these groundwater basins. We have to make sure that when we make the extractions, when we're pulling that water out, that we're doing it in an efficient way, that people are using it efficiently, and that we then are capturing it, right? So data, good data, predictable data is really one of the single most important resources that we as a district, we as an operator, we as an engineering entity need. Many ancient civilizations collapsed because either they ran out of water or their water became putrid, right? Civil engineering was born from the need to transmit water from aquifers in Italy to Rome. Look at all these societies that have evaporated because of drought. Thousands and thousands of people, cultures have dissolved because of drought. Here in California, where things are changing, climate's changing. We need to be watching it. We need to be participating. We need to be moving in a very real way to work with it. And the only way I can work with it is to understand it. And the only way to understand it is by measuring it. And I measure it through these devices.